नाम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधिनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण
कृष्णा कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Yes. So anyone remembers in last session what we discussed, what all we covered? किसी को याद है? Anyone would like to share? कोई शेयर करना चाहेगा? Okay. So in our last session, we were on Sankhya Yoga, second chapter. Sankhya Yoga was the section. So we were discussing about that. What was Sankhya Yoga? Knowledge about the self, knowledge about the super soul, and about the existence. Knowledge of Jivatma, Paramatma, and about this existence. And how Krishna, he says that this body is asat, is non-existent, whereas this soul is sat, existent, which is eternal in nature. This body is temporary in nature, is destructible. And further, Krishna, he explained about the various features of the soul. How soul, what is the size of soul, where it resides, what are the qualities of soul. Anyone remembers any such qualities of soul?
बाल की सत्वभाग्य से की प्रभु जी
That is size of soul. That is
10,000 भाग
qualities of soul.
इटर्नल
Eternal, yes.
अविनश्वर
Unborn.
अविनश्वर
Avinasha, yes. It is immutable. And
कैन
yes.
पानी से सुखा नहीं सकते, पानी से भिंगा नहीं सकते, अग्नि से जला नहीं सकता है.
Correct. We cannot.
Yes. And it cannot remain independently. It can remain only dependent upon Krishna.
Yes. It is immutable, unchangeable. Yes. Some other?
ये हृदय में स्थित होती है और इसके दो प्रारूप हैं, सूक्ष्म और बड़ा.
Yes. It is situated in the heart. It is small in size, and it is inconceivable, invisible, cannot be destroyed, cannot be slain, cannot be cut into the pieces, cannot be dried, cannot be burned, and it is invisible. So all such qualities Krishna spoke about the soul, how it is actually. And further, now we'll see what Krishna is particularly saying about the soul and various theories of soul, as well as some other theory Krishna is going to speak. Let me open up this Bhagavad Gita. We'll read the next verse. We'll start from. Ajinam nityajatam nityam va maniyasya mritam tathapi tvam mahabhao nainam sochitam arharsi. Yes, anyone would like to chant? कोई chant करना चाहेगा वर्ड्स को? Anyone would like to chant the shloka?
अथ चैनम नित्य जातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुम् अर्हसि।
कोई और ट्राई करना चाहेगा? Someone else would like to try?
जातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि तं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि।
Yes, wonderful. Someone else would like to try?
या प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण।
Yes, Harish.
अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि।
Someone else would like to try?
हाँ जी प्रभु जी।
हाँ जी।
अथ चैनम नित्य जातम नित्यम व मनीयसे मृतम तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोषितुम् अर्हसि।
We'll read the translation now. If, however, you think that the soul is perpetually born and always dies, still you have no reason to lament, O mighty arm. So here, Krishna is giving some philosophy which is completely different from what he has spoke so far. In earlier verse, we know Krishna, he spoke that soul has no birth, no death. It
Yes.
cannot take birth, it cannot die here. Unborn. Unborn means it will not take birth and it cannot be killed. It is indestructible. That is the nature of the soul. But here, Krishna is telling something else. If, however, you think that soul is perpetually born and always dies, still you have no reason to lament. So what Krishna is presenting here? Krishna is presenting the Vaibhashika philosophy, atheistic philosophy. Krishna is telling, okay, so far we have seen this through Vedic philosophy. But if you are atheist also, Arjuna, if you follow the Vaibhashika philosophy also, then also there is no reason to lament. Then also there is no reason to lament. So what is this Vaibhashika philosophy? This Vaibhashika philosophy is similar to that of Buddhist philosophy. Lord Buddha, he appeared some 15 centuries back. 15-16 centuries back. Before that, that philosophy was known as Vaibhashika philosophy, atheistic philosophy. What is that atheistic philosophy? That there is no soul. Means we take birth, we die. After birth, after death, there is nothing. It is not like soul is there, will not remain. Soul is not there after death. There is void. There is a void. Nothing exists after death. That is Buddhist philosophy. So why this Buddhist philosophy? Question arises, why this Buddhist philosophy came into the picture? The thing is, Lord Krishna, he appeared as a Buddha, Lord Buddha, to spread this philosophy, to stop the violence. How? After Krishna, he left this material world, people, they were engaging in sacrificial activity for sake of killing animals. Because by sacrifice, when we sacrifice certain animal in a sacrificial fire, what happens? He attains the higher birth, takes the higher birth. Immediately he will transform into human life, he will get a human life. So that was the purpose of performing this Gomedha Yagna, Ashwamedha Yagna, all such yagna. That was the reason. Now, as Kali Yuga began, in Kali Yuga, Brahmanas, they are not qualified. They are not qualified to perform the yajna. Brahmanas are not at all qualified. That purity is not there. And in Kali Yuga, Yuga Dharma is Harinama Sankirtan. So these Brahmanas, they are indulging in killing the animals in the name of sacrifice. And mass killing was happening. To stop that, Lord Krishna, he appears as a Buddha. And first of all, what he did, to stop all these things, what has to be done is to reject all the Vedic wisdom, all the Vedic scriptures has to be rejected. All the Vedic knowledge has to be rejected. And the foundation of this Vedic knowledge is soul. Foundation of this Vedic knowledge is soul, Atma. Entire Vedic philosophy is depend upon the soul. That is the foundation. Because Vedic philosophy talks about Atma, Jivatma, Paramatma, about Ishvara, about Prakriti, all these aspects. So first of all, he rejected all the Vedas, existence of the soul, and propagated the philosophy of non-violence, so that people can stop the violence on animals. They can stop this killing of animals. We'll read the purport. There is always a class of philosophers, almost akin to Buddhists, who do not believe in the separate existence of soul beyond the body. When Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, it appears that such philosophy existed, and they were known as Loka Yatikas and Vaibhashikas. These philosophers maintained that life symptoms or soul take place at a certain mature condition of material combination. The modern material scientists and materialist philosophers also think similarly. According to them, the body is a combination of physical element, and at a certain stage, the life symptom developed by interaction of physical and chemical elements. The science of anthropology is based on this philosophy. Currently, many pseudo-religions now becoming fashionable in America are also adhering to this philosophy, as well as to the nihilistic, non-devotional Buddhist sect. So what is this philosophy and what are the consequences of this philosophy is also very important. And this philosophy is also atheistic philosophy. So what atheistic philosophy means? This scientist and modern material scientist, as Prabhupada has said, according to them, the consciousness, the awareness comes in the material body after certain combination of elements, after certain combination of matter. From matter arises consciousness or awareness in the body. That is their conclusion. And after death, there is nothing. There is nothing. There is no more rebirth. All such philosophies they accept. And based on that, what happens? They say, this is the only life. Let us drink, enjoy life best of our extent. Best of our extent, let us enjoy our life. There is no existence of God and there is no existence of soul. Whatever is there is this life alone. And we have to enjoy this life. Whatever we want, let us do finish off this life itself. That is their understanding. We'll read further. Even if Arjuna did not believe in the existence of the soul, as in the Vaibhashika philosophy, there would still have been no cause for lamentation. No one laments for the loss of a certain bulk of chemicals and stop discharging his prescribed duty. On the other hand, in the modern science and scientific warfare, so many tons of chemicals are wasted for achieving victory over the enemy. According to Vaibhashika philosophy, the so-called soul or Atma vanishes along with the deterioration of the body. So in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that is there is an atomic soul, or whether he did not believe in the existence of soul, he had no reason to lament. According to this theory, since there are so many living entities generating out of matter every moment, and so many of them are being vanished every moment, there is no need to grieve for such an incident. However, since he was not risking rebirth of soul, Arjuna had no reason to be afraid of being affected with the sinful reaction due to killing his grandfather and teacher. But at the same time, Krishna sarcastically addressed Arjuna as Mahabaho, mighty armed, because at least he did not accept the theory of Vaibhashikas, which leaves aside the Vedic wisdom. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna belonged to the Vedic culture, and it behooved him to continue to follow its principles. So here, very interesting point also. So the followers of such philosophy that consciousness or life comes from the matter, after certain combination of chemicals and matter, life and consciousness take place. They are not believing at all in the concept of sinful reaction, Papa and Punya. They don't believe in that. And because of that, what happens? They want to enjoy their life as much as possible. Here, Prabhupada has also mentioned, Arjuna had no reason to afraid with the sinful reaction due to killing his teacher and grandfather. So what happened? Such philosophers, such followers of such philosophy, they don't afraid of any sinful reaction. So what happened? Indiscriminately, they perform sinful activities. They indulge in sinful activities. All sort of sinful activities they will perform. They will create disturbance in the society. They will destroy the peace and harmony of the society. And here Krishna is also in that way, he is telling, just like a child, he makes a sand castle on the beach. Some wave it comes and destroys that castle. So there is no need to lament for that castle, sand castle. It is just lump of matter, lump of sand. There is no need to lament for that. Same way, Krishna is telling, even you think there is no existence of soul, only body is there. There is no need to lament, because this body will destroy, and this body is made of chemicals, some matter, and these grandfather and teacher, they are old now anyways. So simply it is a lump of matter. If it destroys, then what is the harm? There is no harm in destroying that matter. So that is how Krishna is, through different point of view also, he is trying to make Arjuna understand. He is trying to make Arjuna understand. Next verse 27. This is one of the famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma amritasya cha tasmada praha arte natum sochitam aransi. Translation: for one who has taken his birth, death is certain, and for one who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. So what Krishna is telling here, one who has taken his birth, his death is certain. That is certain that he is going to die after some time. Based on his karma, he have got certain life span, and after that he is going to die. That is certain. And when he has died, birth is also certain. Birth is also certain. Therefore, it is unavoidable circumstances. So you should discharge your duty. You should not lament. You should not worry, O Arjuna. In spite of these circumstances, this situation, you should not lament at all. Purport will read, one has to take birth according to one's activity. As per our karma, we have to take our birth. Suppose we have performed some karma which allows us to take a body of a dog, we'll take up a body of a dog as per karma. Or we have done some punya activity, some pious activity, we'll get a body of human life. Further, and after finishing the one terms of activities, one has to die to take birth for the next. In this way, the cycle of birth and death is revolving, one after other without liberation. Punarapi janman, puranapi maranam. This is what is going on. This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter and war, but at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in the human society for keeping law and order. So this cycle of birth and death is going on. We take birth, we die. We again take birth, we again die. So it does not mean that, okay, anyways I have to die, let me kill somebody. No, that is not the point. Just like terrorists, what their philosophy is, anyway you have to die. So if I kill you, you will attain something better position. So that's why I am killing you. All such philosophy is there. But Krishna is not promoting such philosophy here. What Krishna is saying, to protect the law and order in the society, as it is a dharma of Kshatriya. Kshatit rayate iti Kshatriya. The one who protects from the danger is a Kshatriya. To keep peace and harmony in the society, he is allowed to take this role to commit violence in the society. The battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Lord Supreme, was inevitable event, and fight for the right cause is a duty of a Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid of or aggrieved at death of his relative, since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby being subject to the reaction of sinful acts of which he was not so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives. He would be degraded due to his selection of wrong path of action. So suppose government is there. Now there is a war is happening, and government orders certain military army to go and fight the battle. But that commander-in-chief of that particular army, that particular group of soldiers, is not at all willing to fight. He is not at all willing to fight on the behalf of government. So what it will be considered? It will be considered as a Deshdroho. So Krishna, he wants to save Arjuna from such thing. He will incur the sinful reaction if he is not able to give protection, if he is not giving protection, he is not fighting for the protection of dharma, he will get the sinful reaction. And to save from this such a sinful reaction, Krishna is advising, oh Arjuna, you fight. So see how Krishna is well-wishing all the living entities. Suhridam sarva bhutanam. Krishna is telling, I am the well-wisher of all the living entities. Particularly about his devotees. How Krishna is ready to take care. How he is ready to take care of his devotees. So, there is one more understanding here, Karmavada philosophy. What is that Karmavada philosophy? Karmavada philosophy is, or Karmi philosophy is, I am doing good, I will get good in return. Or if I do some bad deeds, bad activity, I will get bad in return. I have to suffer for that. So why there is a need of God? What God has to do? Why I have to worship Him? What is His role? He is doing just His duty. So why I should praise Him? Why I should worship Him? That is very important to understand. So how we can understand this? We can understand through one example. Just like a person is there, he has learnt the driving and he is following all the rules and regulations. He is driving very carefully on the road, following all the rules and regulations. And as regular checking, when traffic police, he stops his vehicle and he does the checking, ask for various documents, show your driving license, so and so document he asked.
अभी तुम इतनी मैच्योर हो गई लॉ पर ध्यान
Further,
ये से ढूंढो
he-
ऑनलाइन सब देखो
Further, he inquires about various aspects of driving from the driver. And he says, oh, everything is perfectly fine, very well. He allows him, okay, you can continue, you can go. And while he was leaving, this traffic police, he asked, by the way, sir, where are you going? He says, I am driving, following all the rules and regulations perfectly. He said, yes, I understand. Where are you going? What is your destination? Where you want to go? He says, that I don't know. I'm just driving. So this traffic police, oh, he's not mentally stable. He's not mentally stable. He's not fit. So same way, people who think that if we do good to others and if we follow all the morality, this, that, and there is no need of God at all, no need to worship, I just do my duty, that is all in all. What happens is, they are like this driver. They are doing very nicely, they are driving very nicely, but they are not at all aware of the destination. Whereas this human life is meant for what? To realize the self, to attain the destination. There is certain destination for this human life. Right? There are 84 lakh species. And out of that, there is a human life. So human life is the only chance to escape from the cycle of birth and death. Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janmam. And that is only possible in human life. That chance is given. And how that is possible? it is possible only by Krishna's mercy. Krishna can only award the liberation from this cycle of birth and death. Krishna can only award. So when we recognize that relationship with Krishna and when we start serving Him, what happens? We attain that supreme destination. And that is the meaning and that is the purpose of this human existence, human form of life. So we'll read further. 28th verse. अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्ता मध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तानि ददानानि एव तत्र का परिदेवना. Translation: all created beings are unmanifested in their beginning, manifest in their interim stage, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? So Krishna is saying about the living entities. Living entities, this Atma, it is not visible. You cannot see, right? So it is unmanifest in the beginning. Before creation also it is unmanifest. It lies in the body of Mahavishnu. It manifests in the interim stage. And again it unmanifests. Again means when annihilation takes place, when body dies, there is an unmanifestation again. Just like we take the mud and from that mud we make brick, and with that brick we construct certain building or a house. After say 100, 200, 300 years, this house again will fall down into the mud. Again it will merge into the mud or soil. Earlier it was in unmanifest form. Mud was there, house was not there. With that mud we prepared bricks and then further we constructed house or a building. It came into manifest form, prakata form, Vyakta form. Then after certain time period it is again destroyed, annihilated. It comes into unmanifested form. It comes into unmanifested form. We read the purport. Accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of soul and other not believing in the existence of soul. There is no cause for lamentation in either case. Non-believer in the existence of soul are called atheists by the followers of Vedic wisdom. Yet, if for argument's sake we accept the atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Why there is no cause of lamentation? Because simply matter or chemicals or lump of matter is getting destroyed. Apart from the separate existence of soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. From this subtle state of unmanifestation comes manifestation. Just as from ether, air is generated, from air, fire is generated, from fire, water is generated, and from water, earth becomes manifested. From the earth, many varieties of manifestation take place. Take for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as an atom in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. So what is the difference between this atheistic philosophy and this thing is atheistic philosophy. Only difference comes is there was for certain time period there was manifestation of matter, and after that it is unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation either in the stage of manifestation or unmanifestation? Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost. Things are not lost. But at the beginning and at the end, all elements remain unmanifested. Only in the middle they are manifested. And this does not make any real material difference. Why it does not make any material difference? Because law of conservation of energy remains the same. You take up some matter, you convert that matter into certain form, and after some time this matter is again, that form is again destroyed, it has come into same that matter, mud for example. So this mud is there throughout the time period, it is there. Law of conservation of energy is same throughout the time period. Only difference is manifestation and unmanifestation take place. And if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Antavat ime deha, that these material body are perishable in due course of time, nitya yokshukta sharirinaha, but that the soul is eternal, then we must remember always that body is like a dress. Body is like a dress. Therefore, why the lamentation? Why lament the changing of a dress? Material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king. But when we wake up, we see that we are neither in the sky nor seated on the chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization on the basis of the non-existence of material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of soul, does not believe in the existence of soul, there is no cause of lamentation for loss of body. So here, a very nice example Prabhupada has given. Just like in we are dreaming, we may see in the dream we are flying, or we are seated on a chariot, or we see certain gold mountain which is full of gold. What happens? As soon as we wake up, the dreaming stage is gone. So same way, this body we get is like a dreaming stage. It is there for some time. As soon as death arrives, this body is gone. This body is gone. Mrityu sarvas harasyam. At point of death, this body is gone. We'll read the next verse. Ascharyavat pashyati kasyaddenam ascharyavat vadati tatheva chanya ascharyavat anyashranoti shrutvapi yenam vedana chaiva kasyit. Translation: some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as an amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. So Krishna, he is now concluding what he is saying. This soul, when someone hear about this soul, he feels it is so amazing. That small soul, how a small soul is pervading entire body. Not only this human body, even that same soul is either it is a microorganism or a big gigantic elephant or some living organism. It is pervading throughout the body. So how amazing it is. And when somebody hears about the soul, they think how amazing this soul is. It cannot be destroyed. It cannot be cut into the pieces. It cannot be burned. It cannot be moistened. It cannot be dried. So like that, people derive amazement from after understanding the soul. But one more thing Krishna is mentioning, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. There are certain people, even they understand, they try to, they hear, but still they don't understand at all about the soul. And why it is, we'll read in the purport. Since Gita Upanishad is largely based on the principle of Upanishads, it is not surprising to also find this passage in the Katha Upanishad. Same passage is there in the Katha Upanishad also. The fact that the atomic soul is within the body of a gigantic animal, in the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbic germs, billions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space, is certainly very amazing. This banyan tree, if you see, the seed of a banyan tree, it is even much smaller than the size of a mustard seed, mustard seed. And from that seed, huge banyan trees comes up, manifests. And even science says that the roots of banyan tree can spread even to some kilometers. Can spread up to the kilometers. Such amazing banyan tree comes into the existence through just a small very seed. And how it is possible? By the presence of soul. By the presence of soul. When the soul leaves that banyan tree, same soil is there, same environment condition is there. Everything is same, but tree is getting dry. Tree is getting dry. It is not further growing. Whereas soul is there, it is growing, it is green. It is full of leaves. As soon as soul leaves, that tree starts drying up. And eventually, it starts shedding all the leaves. And tree becomes very weak. Wood starts, some of the branches, small branches starts falling off. We'll continue further. Men with a poor fund of knowledge, men who are not austere, cannot understand the wonders of the atomic spark of the spirit, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge, who imparted lesson even to the Brahma, the first living being in the universe. Now here, Krishna is telling, who cannot understand this about this soul? Even after hearing, they don't understand about this soul. What is the reason? Krishna is explaining here. Just like to get any education, we need certain qualification. We need certain qualification. Suppose I want to get education of the rocket science. I want to understand about the rocket science. So I must be clear with the fundamental of some rocket mechanism. I should be clear about that. Not like that some first grade, first class child, small child, 5 years, 6-year-old child, we can teach him directly rocket science. Not possible. Not possible. Same way, this spiritual knowledge is not some ordinary knowledge like rocket science. It needs certain qualification. What is that qualification? A person should be austere, should be tapasvi, should perform tapasya in his life. What sort of tapasya? Is chanting Krishna's name, hearing about Krishna. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mama bijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvataha. Only my devotees, they can understand me. I reveal this knowledge to them. Just like suppose an employee is there, what he is doing? He is employed for a certain organization because he is serving that organization. Similarly, a devotee of Krishna means what? He is serving Krishna. He is serving Krishna. How is he serving Krishna? Shravanam, Kirtanam, all various ways he is serving Krishna. So when he serves Krishna, because we are under illusion, we are under Maya, we don't want to serve Krishna. So serving Krishna is austerity. Chanting Krishna's name. We don't like to chant Krishna's name. Oh, what is this? We have to take this mala leke chant karna hai. What is this? We keep singing throughout the day. What is the use of this mala? Better will sing. No. When we chant on mala, it is austerity. We have to take out certain time. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes from our day. Specifically for Krishna. That is austerity. We eat only Krishna Prasad. That is austerity. All such way when we perform austerity in our life, what happens? It helps us to develop qualification to understand this knowledge. It helps us to develop that qualification to understand this knowledge. Here, one more thing is mentioned. Even though it is explained by greatest authority of knowledge. Who is the greatest authority of knowledge? Krishna. Even though it is explained by Krishna himself, this knowledge is explained by Krishna himself, one cannot get it. It doesn't mean Krishna is not explaining this knowledge properly. It means we are not qualified. Just like suppose you want to take some water, and to get that water, you have not bring some glass, you have not bring some ladle, you have not bring some spoon. What you have brought? Fork. Kata leke aaye. So what will happen? As soon as we try to get some water, it will pass away. It will not come in that thing. Fork cannot hold water sufficiently. Suppose at least a spoon is there, some water it is holding. Ladle is there, some more water it is able to hold. Glass is there, it is even holding some more water. Right? So we cannot blame that reservoir of water. That storage tank of water we cannot blame. Oh, we have come with fork. We are not able to get water. What kind of tank you are? Water tank you are? No. It is because we have not brought the right vessel to get sufficient water. Same way, if we have not performed austerities, any pious activity, any punya, this knowledge will not be able to understand. Just like there are 84 lakh species. Out of that, we have got this human species. And Krishna is explaining, Manushyanam sahastreshu yasyati siddhe. Out of thousands of human beings, some will try to understand this knowledge. And out of those 1,000, some will understand. And out of those, one may attain the perfection. So there is a human population of around 8 billion now. So out of those 8 billion, only very, very few have got an opportunity to get this knowledge, come in contact with this knowledge. And out of those few, some will understand. Just like you can see very grossly also, there are some 100 of people who want to join this session, who want to attend this session, who want to take part of this session, who are interested in this session. But hardly some 15-20 people are able to join. Hardly some 15-20 people are able to join this session. So, how it becomes difficult? It is not at all easy. And these 15-20 people who are taking out their time is austerity for them. This 8 o'clock in the evening, lot of serials, lot of things are there in the world to do. But still, they give priority to hear this knowledge. So what happens? Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, he get pleased. He get pleased because by hearing Krishna, by hearing about Krishna, what happens? We are doing the seva to Krishna. And when we perform such seva, Krishna gives that knowledge. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajtam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupyantite. I give the knowledge. I give the knowledge. We'll read further. Owing to a gross material conception of things, most men in this age cannot imagine how such a small particle can become both so great and so small. So men look at the soul proper as wonderful either by constitution or by description. Illusion by material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matter for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand the question of self-realization. Even though it is a fact that without this self-understanding, all activities result in the ultimate defeat in the struggle for existence. Perhaps one has no idea that one must think of the soul and also make a solution of material miseries. So very wonderful thing is mentioned here. Now what happens actually? So illusioned by material energy, when one get illusioned by this material energy, illusion means which is not. It seems to be real, but it is not real. Just like this body, it seems to be permanent. We work hard day and night to maintain this body, to maintain these bodily relationships, extension of this body. We are working day and night hard for maintaining this body. But what happens after a certain time period? This body gets destroyed. So it is illusion. What is reality? Soul is the reality. We are not doing anything for the soul. We are not doing anything for this soul. This body is an instrument to make a spiritual progress. We are not doing. Temporarily, it is given for making a spiritual progress. But we are not doing. What we are doing, we want to maintain this body. That is illusion. And after getting illusion, what happens? We engaged in sense gratification. Once we get illusioned, we only engage in sense gratification. Just like when we recognize, oh, we are the body, when we understand that our existence is with this body, not with soul, what happens? We start gratifying the senses. Oh, my tongue wants to eat something, some pizza, burger, this, that. I want that. So my time goes to get that pizza, get that burger. I want to see something, some movie. My time goes for that movie. I want to, go to some place. My time goes in that. I want to visit some tourist place. My time goes for that. So what happened? Entire times goes to satisfy these senses. And to satisfy these senses, we need money. And to get that money, we have to work day and night like a donkey. Yes, we have to work like that. We keep working. So what happened? We get very little time to understand the question of self-understanding. We get very, very little time to make inquiries about the self. Who we are, what is our purpose of life. This simply eating, sleeping is not purpose of our life. So we get very little time to think about this. And if you see nowadays, this corporate culture is like this. They give you very less time to have certain creativity, to ask all these questions. So what happens? We get very little time. Now, when there is no time, we have no understanding. We are without understanding of the self. There is no understanding of the self. When there is no understanding of the self, ultimately it leads to defeat, the struggle for existence. What happens? We keep working like this day and night, hard working hard. Hardly there is a time. So what happened at the time of death? Mrityu sarva sarasham. It will take away everything. This human life was meant for some spiritual progress. Forget about spiritual progress. We degrade. We fall down again into material miseries. This human life is to make solution of this material miseries. But what happens? We simply struggle, and at the end we get defeated. So what is the solution? Krishna is telling in the Bhagavad Gita, Devi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratya Mameva hi prapadyante Maya etam tarantite. So when we surrender to Krishna, he is telling, one who surrenders to Krishna, onto him, can certainly easily cross over this material existence, this material miseries. One can easily cross over this material miseries. I don't want old age, but still old age is forced upon me. I don't want disease, still disease is forced upon me. I want happiness in my life, still some distress is forced upon me. All these are material miseries. I went to suppose some hill station, but some kind of mishappening happened. I didn't want that, but still it is forced upon me. I'm simply sleeping, but some mosquito came, bite me, and some dengue, all such things happened. I didn't want, but still it is forced upon me. All these things are material miseries. And when we don't make any solution for these material miseries, permanent solution to these material miseries, there is no chance to come out of the cycle of birth and death. To read further, some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lecture in good association, but sometimes, owing to ignorance, they are misguided by acceptance of the soul and atomic soul as one without distinction of the magnitude. Now, some people, oh, no, we should understand about all these things. But what happened? They get cheated. How? Certain people, they tell you yourself are God. You yourself is God. तुम ही भगवान हो. What happened? They cheat like that, and in that delusion, again he falls into the material miseries. They say this Atma and Paramatma is same. You are the same Paramatma. You are the same Paramatma. Without any distinction, without any such differentiation, they say you are the God. Such cheaters delude this sincere soul. So see just how fortunate we are. Just imagine that out of 84 lakh species, we have got this human form of life. And out of such 8,800 crore of population, we have got this chance to get this knowledge by the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, who is presenting this Bhagavad Gita as it is. We have got this chance to read this Bhagavad Gita. We have got this chance to read this Bhagavad Gita to understand what Krishna is telling. So how fortunate it is. It is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understands the position of the soul, the super soul, the atomic soul, their respective functions, relationships, and all other major and minor details. And it is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from the knowledge of the soul, and who is able to describe the position of soul in different aspects. But if somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful. Even Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, I am the science of the self. I am the science of the self. The easiest process for understanding the subject matter of the self, however, is to accept the statement of Bhagavad Gita spoken by the greatest authority, Lord Krishna, without being deviated by other theories. There are so many theories, so many interpretations. Without being deluded by that, when we accept such a statement from pure devotee directly by Krishna, who is giving that direct message of Krishna, our life is successful. But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in this life or in the previous one. Before one is able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of pure devotee, by no other way. So Krishna, how one can understand Krishna? Krishna is telling, even my devotee are not my devotee. In one of the Purana, Krishna makes a statement, my devotees are not my devotee. So who is Krishna's devotee? Krishna is telling, one who is devotee of my devotee is my real devotee. Is my real devotee. So what happens when we want to understand about Krishna? We cannot directly approach and understand about Krishna so easily. Then how it is possible? When the causeless of mercy of a pure devotee is there upon us, then only we can understand about Krishna. Just like Prabhupada, nobody in the Western world knew about Krishna. What is Krishna? All these things they don't know. But when Prabhupada, he went and he gave them blessings, even the atheists, they became the devotee of Krishna. They became the devotee of Krishna. And such causeless mercy is abundantly available for all of us. very easily by reading these books of Prabhupada, observing Prabhupada. When we serve Prabhupada, Krishna further he tells in Bhagavad Gita, Tad vidhi paripadena pariprashanena seveya updekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. When we approach such a person, Tattvadarshi, who has realized the self, who has seen the truth, when we approach such person, inquire from him, serve him, offer seva to him, by that we get this knowledge. We get this knowledge. Move to next verse. Dehi nityam avadheyo yam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natum sochitam hararsi. For descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body is eternal and can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any creature. So here Krishna is concluding. It is a concluding statement of Krishna. He is clearly saying, who dwells in the body is soul, is eternal. Soul is eternal, can never be slain. We'll read purport. The Lord now concludes the chapter of instruction on the immutable spirit soul, describing the immortal soul in various ways. Lord Krishna established the soul as immortal and the body is temporary. Therefore, Arjuna as a Kshatriya should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and teacher Bhishma and Drona will die in the battle. On the authority of Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body, not that there is no such thing as soul, or that living symptoms developed at a certain stage of material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals. Though the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. At the same time of war, it is not discouraged when there is actual need for it. That need must be justified in the terms of the sanction of the Lord, not capriciously. One should not whimsically kill the person, but it should be sanctioned by the Lord. In that way, one should utilize the violence. So we'll end here by this. This is the end of Sankhya Yoga. Further, there will be dedicated chapter also on this Sankhya Yoga. Very beautifully explained by Krishna, many aspects. This is the basic philosophy of Sankhya Yoga, just a glimpse of Sankhya Yoga Krishna is given in the second chapter. So with this, we'll end. Anyone has any question or anything to share, please feel free to share, ask. Yes.
प्रभु जी हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हाँ जी
प्रभु जी, अच्छा वैसे ये तो जो इन्होंने जो लिखा है गीता में, तो इन्होंने ये भी बोल सकते जो श्री भगवान वाचन लिखे, तो उन्होंने तो श्री कृष्ण वाचन बोल नहीं सकता, तो उन्होंने
Correct.
श्री भगवान से क्यों बोला?
Yes. If you see Bhagavad Gita, when Dhritarashtra is saying, he is saying Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Sanjay is making some statement, Sanjay Uvacha. Arjuna is making some statement, Arjuna Uvacha. Whereas Krishna is making a statement, he is mentioning as a Bhagwan Uvacha, Shri Bhagwan Uvacha. So why it is so? Earlier also we have explained this. Now also I'll clarify. So Krishna, he is Krishnastu Bhagwan Swam. He is the Lord himself, Bhagwan himself.
Yes.
So as to establish the authority of Krishna, that he is a Bhagwan. Bhagwan means what? One who possesses the bhagya, opulence. What kind of opulence? That Parashar Muni explains. There are 6 kinds of opulence. Aishwarasya, Virasya, strength, beauty, name, fame, renunciation, and knowledge. One who possesses all these 6 opulence, and in what? In full, unlimited extent, not limited, not some beauty, some intelligence. No, it should be unlimited beauty, unlimited fame, unlimited strength, unlimited richness, unlimited renunciation. One who possesses all these qualities is known as Bhagwan. that Bhagwan is who? Is Krishna. Name of that Bhagwan is Krishna. Sarva Akashakati iti Krishna. Krishna means who attracts everyone. Just like somebody who is very rich, like Ambani or Adani, how we get attracted. Somebody who is very beautiful, how naturally we get attracted. Some portion of that attraction, some portion of that opulence is there in all these people. Somebody is intelligent, we get naturally attracted. Whereas Krishna has all this in unlimited aspects. All this is in unlimited aspects. So what happens? Krishna, he attracts everyone. Just like magnet. Like that, Krishna, he can attract everyone. That's why Krishna is known as Bhagavan. And not some ordinary person is giving this Bhagavad Gita. Who is giving? Bhagavan himself. Krishna himself is giving this Bhagavad Gita. That's why Vyasadeva mentions as Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Any other question or anything? We'll land here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
जय
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण प्रभु जी